Hello, everybody. How are you? Spring is finally happening around here, and it feels so nice to see all the signs of life in full bloom again. Lately, I've been spending more time decorating little corners of the house, bringing flowers inside, moving things around, and trying to make everything calm and comforting because I think bringing magic into my home becomes even more important when life sometimes feels too loud outside. That's something I've been thinking about a lot lately. I feel like many people are getting tired of all the overstimulation in life, tired of algorithms, constant notifications, endless scrolling, and always feeling connected to everything all the time. Earlier last month, we went to downtown Toronto to spend the day. And after living in this city for almost 13 years, I finally visited the famous Toronto Reference Library for the very first time. And honestly, it exceeded all my expectations. The architecture alone is already worth the visit. The building has been serving the community for almost 50 years and was designed by the Canadian architect Raymond Moriyama. I loved learning more about his philosophy because he believed architecture should feel humane, and you can really feel that when you are there. As you walk through the layered floors and endless aisles, you notice organic shapes everywhere. It feels connected and intentional, like every single corner matters. It's mesmerizing. I used to love going to libraries so much in the past, and somehow I just stopped going. I don't even know exactly when that happened. I realized that although I still buy books, in the past few years I slowly replaced a lot of my reading with audiobooks. Don't get me wrong, I love audiobooks. I listen to them while cooking, organizing the house, driving. But I suddenly realized how much I missed physically being around books. Before heading home, we stopped for lunch, which is one of my favorite things to do in downtown Toronto. It's one of the ways the city really shows how multicultural it is. This time, we finally visited an Ethiopian restaurant that has been on our wish list for a long time.
Oh wow.
The injera on the side.
Thank
Beautiful.
you.
And there you go.
Wow.
Wow.
Traditionally, Ethiopian food is eaten by using injera, a soft sour flatbread instead of utensils. Everything was incredible, so comforting and completely different from anything I usually eat. If you haven't tried it yet and enjoy rich flavors, I highly recommend giving it a try. On our way back to the subway, we came across this street artist named Ross Ward, often known as Toronto's Birdman. He has been carving these beautiful wooden birds by hand for decades, and watching him work felt so special. His art became part of the fabric of the city, and I felt really lucky to find him there that day. Putting my physical library card to use again felt like reconnecting with a forgotten part of myself. Lately, I find it really beautiful that more people seem to be looking for small ways to disconnect from screens and reconnect with real life again through actions like this. For me, it was such a simple decision, but such a good one. I did not realize how much I missed spending afternoons browsing aisles of books and disconnecting a little from the online business of life. After all the joy I've been finding in physical books again this year, I felt like this would be the perfect opportunity to share a few I've been reading lately because they really became part of this whole experience too. And I have a feeling you really love these recommendations. The first one immediately caught my attention at the library because of the beautiful shiny cover and title. As someone who has always loved writing letters, I couldn't resist it. The book is written by the owner of a small stationery shop in Seoul, in Korea, and it feels like a love letter to handwritten correspondence and slowing down in a world that moves too fast, which felt very fitting for this moment in my life. The second book was chosen for my book club, and I can genuinely say it became one of the best novels I ever read. It's called Piranesi by Susanna Clarke, and once I started reading it, I simply couldn't stop. It follows this very gentle man living alone inside an endless labyrinth called the house, surrounded by statues, tides, and mysterious halls. It's haunting, beautiful, strange, and incredibly addictive. This next book was gifted to me by one of my dearest friends, and it arrived at the perfect moment. It's written by a Danish author whose work I absolutely love. And something really special connected to him is that inside his museum in Copenhagen, there is an original love letter from my husband on permanent display. That whole story deserves its own video, especially because we just came back from our trip to Copenhagen, and I'm really excited to share more about this very meaningful experience soon. And last, but definitely not least, I had to get this vintage calligraphy book I saw at the library that day. And I was so happy to find it online on Etsy. It's from 1989, and honestly, it's one of the best introductions to calligraphy I've ever come across. It has this old school charm in the best way possible. Everything is hand lettered, beautifully organized, and really focused on developing manual skills instead of digital shortcuts. I absolutely love it. And maybe that's really what this whole month has been about for me. Trying to reconnect with slower experiences again. Books, handwriting, libraries, conversations, observing the city more carefully. All these little moments that make life feel fuller somehow. Do you have any booking recommendations for me? I would love to read them in the comments. I hope you enjoyed spending this time with me. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Sending you all my love.